Welcome back to Momster Mash. Today we're talking about comfort horror and what it really means when we return to the same movies over and over again. These are the movies we know by heart. Every scream, every jump scare, every line, and yet we still press play. Not because we forgot what happens, but because we remember exactly how it makes us feel. One of my earliest memories is lying on our puke green shag carpet. Yes, those were the days. And I was completely captivated by the creature from the Black Lagoon as he flickered across what felt like a giant TV screen. And it wasn't just the creature, it was King Kong, Godzilla, it was Dracula, and of course, the Wolfman. I was instantly drawn to monster movies. Because the thing about horror, the real horror, is that it takes us on a wild ride, but in a safe space. The monsters stay on the screen. We get the fear, the adrenaline, the tension, and then we get the relief. Comfort horror isn't about being scared for the first time. It's about control, predictability, familiarity. It's about knowing what's coming and choosing it anyway. Horror lets us experience fear in a safe and contained environment. We feel the thrill and then we come back down. It's cathartic, and for a lot of us, especially moms, that matters more than we realize. And I want to pause here for a second because this doesn't have to be horror for you. I want you to think about what your comfort watch is. What's the thing you put on in the background? The thing that you've seen 100 times, but it still makes your body relax a little. Maybe it's a movie. Maybe it's a TV show. Maybe it's something you half watch while folding the laundry, sweeping the floor, or lying on the couch. That's comfort media. And there's nothing lazy or strange about returning to it. Sometimes familiarity is what helps us feel safe again. For me, that comfort just happens to live in horror. Horror also connects us to each other. Screaming together, laughing together, holding on to each other during the scary parts. Horror conventions, online communities, shared fandoms, they all create a sense of belonging. Horror also tackles the big stuff: death, morality, evil, and survival. It lets us explore hard truths without being overwhelmed by them. What are my comfort horror films? I have too many to count. However, I tried to whittle down my list to just five and maybe an honorable mention here or there. Number one, The Lost Boys. Kiefer Sutherland, Kiefer Sutherland, Kiefer Sutherland. Need I say more? But really, the style in this movie, the music, the mood. It's like a crazy carnival fairy tale. And it's totally 80s and it totally rocks. It's got a great soundtrack. But the story is what I'm talking about here. Michael and Sam are looking for a place to belong. And the vampires are looking for a mother. Everyone here is a misfit trying to blend together. What keeps me coming back is that this movie is about choice. It's about power versus connection. So when the vampires offer him eternal youth and eternal power, and he gets a taste of it, Michael doesn't reject who he is. Instead, he learns how to hold all sides of himself and still choose home. Number two, An American Werewolf in London. This movie mixes comedy and horror, but it never skips on the horror. And that's what I love about it. That transformation scene, it's still unbeaten over 40 years later. It's ugly. It's painful. It doesn't have any background music. It's totally silent and it's honest. I come back to this one because it doesn't romanticize the change. Sometimes transformation hurts, and seeing that reflected in that transformation scene feels validating. Bram Stoker's Dracula. This adaptation is lush, gorgeous, and deeply romantic. The color palette and the imagery and the old school effects aren't too shabby either. Everything that happens in that film happens right there before your eyes, right there before the camera, and it doesn't disappoint. Gary Oldman is unforgettable as the titular character. What keeps me returning is that this Dracula is driven by grief and longing. It reminds me that monsters aren't born, they're made. Number 4, Hellraiser. Hellraiser is a lesson. Wanting more, reaching too far, desire without boundaries, and learning that not everything we crave is meant to be opened. Not everything we want is meant to be experienced. Also, the real monster in that movie might be the wicked stepmother, and that feels like another episode waiting to happen. Number 5, Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn. This is Sam Raimi remaking his iconic first film, Evil Dead, but with more money, more backing, and somehow even more chaos. There are more screams, more blood, more laughs, and it's still very terrifying. The cabin sets the atmosphere, the dark woods, the Kandarian demons. I love this one because survival looks like laughing through the terror. Honorable mention, Silver Bullet. Now this one feels like an old friend. Silver Bullet holds a special place in my heart. It has all the hallmarks of a classic Stephen King story. A small town, evil hiding in plain sight, kids who see the truth while adults stay in denial. Marty's disability isn't a weakness. It's part of his strength. And the most chilling part, the monster wears a familiar face. I think a lot of moms find comfort horror without realizing that that's what it is. Because it's one of the few places where you're not needed, you're not responsible, and you're not fixing anything. You just get to sit with the story and let your nervous system breathe. So if horror comforts you, if the dark feels safe, there's probably a reason. It doesn't mean that something is wrong with you. Kill that noise. There's nothing wrong with you. It means you found something that helps you regulate, reflect, and feel contained. So, comfort horror isn't about escaping reality. It's about returning to stories that remind us we've survived before. It reminds us that fear can be faced, that monsters can be named. And sometimes watching those same movies again is an act of self care. Thank you for spending this time with me. Next time on Momster Mash, we're stepping away from the screen and talking about the monsters we inherit and the ones we're finally breaking. I'll see you there. This is Momster Mash. Come as you are, bring your shadows. You can find Momster Mash on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and on TikTok at my handle at MomsterLolo. You can email me at momstermashpodcast@gmail.com. Tell me how I'm doing. Until next time, make friends with your monsters. Sometimes they're reaching out a claw, so take that claw. And as always, protect your energy. See you soon.